1 Kings chapter 21. And it came to pass after these words that there was one vineyard to Naboth the Jezreelite by the house of Ahab king of Samaria. And Ahab spoke to Naboth, saying, Give to me your vineyard, and it will be to me for a garden of vegetables, for this is near my house, and I will give to you in place of it another good vineyard for it. But if it is not pleasing before you, I will give to you money in barter for this your vineyard. And Naboth said to Ahab, May it not be to me from the Lord to give the inheritance of my fathers to you. And Ahab went to his house, being in a tumult, and loosened over the words which Naboth the Jezreelite spoke to him, as he said, I will not give to you the inheritance of my fathers to you. And the spirit of Ahab became disturbed, and he went to sleep upon his bed, and covered up his face, and did not eat bread. And Jezebel, his wife, entered to him, and said to him, Why is your spirit disturbed, and you are not eating bread? And he said to her, For I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite, saying, Give to me your vineyard for money, but if you do not want, I will give to you a vineyard in place of it. And he said, I will not give to you the inheritance of my fathers. And Jezebel, his wife, said to him, Do you now so act as king over Israel? Rise up, and eat bread, and be yourself, and I will give to you the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. And she wrote upon a scroll the name of Ahab, and set seal by his seal, and sent the scroll to the elders, and to the free men dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the scroll, saying, Fast a fast, and set Naboth at the head place of the people, and seat 2 men, sons of lawbreakers, right opposite him, and let them bear witness against him, saying, You raved against God and king. And let them lead him out and stone him, and let him die. And they did, the men of his city, the elders, and the free men dwelling in his city, as Jezebel sent to them, and as was written in the scrolls which she sent to them. And they called a fast, and they sat Naboth at the head of the people. And 2 men entered, sons of lawbreakers, and they sat right opposite him, and bore witness against him, saying, He raved against God and king. And they led him outside the city, and they stoned him with stones, and he died. And they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth has been stoned and died. And it came to pass, as Jezebel heard the one saying, Naboth has been stoned and has died, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Rise up, inherit the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, for he did not give it to you for money, for Naboth is not living, but has died. And it came to pass, as Ahab heard that Naboth has died, Ahab rose and went down into the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to inherit it. And the Lord said to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Rise up, and go down for meeting Ahab king of Israel in Samaria. Behold, this one is in the vineyard of Naboth, for he went down there to inherit it. And you shall speak to him, saying, Thus says the Lord, You murdered and inherited. Therefore thus says the Lord, In the place where the dogs licked the blood of Naboth, there the dogs shall lick your blood. And Ahab said to Elijah, Have you found me, O my enemy? And he said, I have found you, for you sell yourself in folly to act wickedly before the Lord, to provoke him to anger. Thus says the Lord, Behold, I bring upon you evils, and I will burn away after you, and will utterly destroy of Ahab the one urinating against the wall, and the one being constrained, and the one being left in Israel. And I will appoint your house as the house of Jeroboam son of Nebat, and as the house of Baasha son of Ahijah, on account of the provocations which you provoked to anger, and led Israel into sin. And to Jezebel the Lord spoke, saying, The dogs shall eat her in the area around the wall of Jezreel. The one having died of Ahab in the city, the dogs will eat. And the one having died of his in the plain, the birds of the heaven will eat. Furthermore, there was not one as Ahab, who sold himself to do the wicked thing before the Lord, as Jezebel his wife altered him. And he acted exceedingly abhorrent, to go after the abominations, according to all as many things which the Amorite made, whom the Lord utterly destroyed from the face of the sons of Israel. And it came to pass, as Ahab heard these words, he tore his inner garment, and wore sackcloth upon his body, and fasted, and laid in sackcloth, and went having downcast eyes. And came to pass the word of the Lord to Elijah the Tishbite, and said, Have you seen that Ahab was vexed in front of me? Because he was vexed in front of me, I shall not bring the evil in his days, but only in the days of his son will I bring the evil upon his house.